This has been my go-to mantra for the past few weeks or months to connect with myself and put my hand on my heart. And as you take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. So you breathe in and out equally, taking a deep breath in and slowly releasing and placing the hand on the heart. And in your mind's eye, visualize light from the universe comes down through all of your chakras. And with each inhale, you fill your aura with the golden light and allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your facial muscles to relax. And as you pull in your pelvic floor, feel your root chakra grounding into the place where you're sitting, connecting your physical body to the earth. And as we bring down our energy, that is our higher self, we allow ourselves to align with the true nature of our divinity. And we notice where we have tension in our body, and we acknowledge it. And we don't resist it, we just honor it and send it love. Send love to the places where you feel tension, and know that you are in a safe place. This is a safe place for you to feel your body and to feel your feelings. And as we continue to imagine light channeling down through all of our chakras and visualize it grounding our bodies into this earth, we also visualize receiving energy from the earth herself, coming upward through all of our chakras, so that we are a bridge between the physical and the spiritual worlds. As we continue to breathe deeply and slowly and evenly, inhaling and exhaling. With our eyes closed, we can imagine our breath filling each cell in our body with energy and light. And as we pay attention to our physical bodies, any place that you feel tension, visualize that light going straight to that place. And give that place a little bit of love and attention, not resisting what our bodies tell us. And as we imagine this light coming down and up, as we are a bridge between the physical and spiritual, we radiate that light throughout our cells, all the way out to our skin, and then surrounding our aura, filling our aura with golden light. And imagine filling this room with your light. And as each of us have a spirit guide or a team of spirit guides, we invite them to connect with us, and we allow ourselves to align with their frequency so that we may be able to receive any messages that they have for us. And we notice when we're overthinking in our minds, we take our thoughts and drop them down into our heart. And we allow our thoughts to calm and slow as we visualize the thoughts slowing down and moving down into our heart, so that we don't overthink anything that we feel or anything that we might hear in our minds. We just allow ourselves to receive it. And as we align with our higher version of ourselves, we may notice anxiety or fear or grasping, a desperate grasping to know more or to be more or to see more or to have answers. And let's take those thoughts again and move them down into our hearts, knowing that everything will come to us. Everything is around us all the time, all of our answers, all of the solutions. And each interaction that we have with other beings, other selves, other people, are reminders of what we already know intrinsically. God and Spirit are constantly speaking to us through each other and through our experiences and through the experiences that we have around us, whether it be through signs and synchronicities or people coming into our reality and our experience and showing us what we need to see. So we become balanced in this light, not afraid of the shadow or the darkness. We are able to balance darkness as we invite our shadows into the light. If we ignore them or we resist them, then they manifest themselves to get our attention as our physical pains and our health issues and our problems. So we don't run away from our pain, but we sit in the light and calmly allow it to come to us, and we invite it to show itself to us, and we are unafraid to see what the darkness or the fear or the pain has to tell us, so that we may develop a connection with ourselves and a divine connection with our true nature and our spirituality so that we may always be balanced and regulate. We are the authority of our experience. We are creating our reality. And those that have come here are creating a new reality. We are a bridge from the old to the new. And there are all kinds of invitations all the time for us to gaze at the old reality and to look at the pain and to align with the suffering, and it needs our energy to continue to exist. So even though we know we've explored it well enough, we know what the old reality looks like. We know what it feels like to be addicted to pain, to feel our physical bodies react to whatever it is that we may put inside them that is an addiction, whether it's to social media or to drama or to anger or to fear or to pain. We have been addicted to that in this experience, and now it is time for us to move away. So as we are on a bridge moving away from an old way of being, we don't give it our attention anymore. We focus on the experience that we want to have. What kind of experience do you want to create? And as you continue to focus all of your energy on the world that you want, the old world will fade away. And there may be people in it that we are attached to, and those attachments are asking us to recognize them and send them love so that we may go on our way, and so may they. Everybody that's having this experience on this planet is going to continue in this experience, but some people may need to come back in a different body because all of the attachments are attached to our physical reality, our physical experience, and some people have bodies that will not be able to align with the new energies that are coming. So the advice we are being given, all of us, is to follow our heart, to trust our inner guidance, and to know that Spirit is guiding us. We don't need other people to validate us. In fact, the old reality is going to constantly tell us the opposite of what we know is true in ourselves, and that is our challenge, to know ourselves and to strengthen our connection with our inner knowing, and to not be dissuaded to go forward by the fear and the pain and the physical attachment to yesterday, to all that used to be, because things are going to change. They are changing, and we will create what we focus on. So we have to know that, like grasping hands trying to pull us down into a dark place, the old reality wants to survive and hang on because that's all it knows how to do. It only knows how to create fear and pain. It only exists with the energy of fear and pain. And so if we give it any energy, then we are continuing to allow it to be created and to exist. And it will only cause us suffering, particularly if we are being called away, if we are being called to relocate, if we are being called to change something in our lives, whether it's a job or a family situation or a relationship or a location. The inner knowing exists and it is there and it is strong. But equally strong is the fear and the anger and the pain of an old reality that wants to remain. But it doesn't really have a consciousness. It knows, in some sense of the word, that it can't remain, but it is just amplifying what it always does, which is to try and feed on our physical pain and our physical lack of faith, which is attached to these physical bodies. It's only being in physical bodies that we are enabled to experience things this way. So remember, your physical body is changing, it is moving, and as you gaze into the galactic center with your mind's eye and you bring light down into all of your cells, you are healing each cell and you are activating your own DNA. And each of us activate our own DNA with our own consciousness and with the help of our own spirit guides, which are around us all the time, every day. We experience what we focus on. So if we focus on fear and pain and stress, that is what we experience. Some of us have thought forms and entities that say, I'm not okay, or I can't, or yes, but, and there's always an excuse, and we have to let go of those excuses. Every time you hear a thought come up into your mind that says, yes, but I, or no, but I know, but, then you have to recognize that and stop and don't agree with it, and just say, it will be fine. I am fine. I am moving forward. I am growing. I am letting go of an old way of being. And every time you have a thought of trying to numb yourself or to participate in an addiction, ask yourself, why am I doing this way? Because those who continue to participate in addictions, their bodies will not survive the incoming energies. And that may be okay. Maybe some people want a new body and they just want to have an experience of finishing this body out. But as things are rapidly changing, that will be sooner than people may expect if they choose the other way. Which is not to say that there's anything to be afraid of. It's simply a choice every day to what you put in your body, what you expose yourself to, what you put in your eyes, and what you put in your mind. The time is coming where, we need to have the strength to move forward, to radiate the light within ourselves and not worry about what everybody else is doing, but really focusing on oneself. Because as one focuses on oneself, everything around in that aura, in that circumference of your energy field changes, and it brings different things into your experience. And that's how we change the world, by bringing our consciousness together within ourselves first. Then we match up with other individuals who resonate with us. And it will become more and more difficult for those who don't align with the higher consciousness to remain on the physical plane. But many people who have died and passed away are already back in brand new bodies with another opportunity to have an experience. They just don't remember all the things that they were attached to. So this is a good way to think about our experience today, is to imagine that we are letting go of old ways and we are forgetting about the things that used to be our attachments, that used to hold us down and weigh us, make us heavy and make us weigh too much, in order to lighten up, to lift our consciousness and our awareness into a bigger place. So the word upheaval is a big word that's in play in the energy that's going on in the earth at this moment. And there's a strong call for everyone to listen to their spirit guides, and especially if it's telling you to relocate. Sometimes you need to shake up your experience to get things moving again in order to change the experience. And there's nothing to be afraid of, only if you refuse to let go of the things that want to leave your life. Then that is when you will experience suffering. But again, suffering is a perspective that is only possible in these physical bodies. So we have to learn how to do things a completely different way. Anything that you thought was possible is possible. Anything you thought was impossible is also possible. It's all open for change, everything. And I feel like there are questions. Do you have any questions? I think the answer you are seeking is mostly about experience, because you must know that time is not linear. Time doesn't flow from beginning to end. There are thousands of lifetimes that have been lived both in the past and in the future. And this is where the consciousness that is your soul is having the most attention. And so when I say thousands, you would have to do math in order to figure out just how old that is. But there was a beginning that did not begin on this planet. And how old is this planet really? Does anyone know exactly how old it is? Things are comprehended with the physical mind. And you have to remember that this physical mind has been attached to this physical body for what you consider a life. And this is the life that you remember. But there are other lives that contribute to this life and that have contributed to the experience that the soul is having. Things have happened in your life that have contributed all to your experience. And part of that is a program that is conditioning your consciousness to be unable to expand beyond certain parameters of understanding. And so that is what we would call limited thinking. It's limited to just this body or just this experience or who I am, which is an ego, which is not a bad thing. There's also a program that says you have to kill your ego, but that would be impossible unless you killed yourself. But then you cannot kill yourself. You can only leave the body, and temporarily, all of this is temporary. So there is no number that I could give you that would really be a fair answer, but there you can have access to relevant past lives to the point where you're able to ask for that information to come to you in knowings. And this is why meditation and breathing and mental hygiene and spiritual hygiene is so important, is because there's a frequency that's being broadcast through our devices that keep us in a certain way of thinking and a certain frequency where our actual souls want to have a different experience in our bodies. And so if we're not able to put down our attachments, then we're not able to raise our awareness to more than what is being put in our eyes and our body. That there is a programming to limit our ability to be aware. That limitation comes from all the things that we do to our bodies, including the things we put in our eyes and the things we put in our mind and the things that create our beliefs. So you can believe anything, and what you choose to believe is conditioned by what you experience around you, what people in your sphere of influence believe. You can go to one part of the planet and talk to a group of children who have yet to start school, and they will have expansive beliefs because they have not yet been conditioned to believe. And other children on other places in the world will also have the same expansive ideas of unlimited thinking, but it's when we institutionalize our brains and our bodies that we start to limit what we understand. And that understanding is not necessarily accurate in the true sense of the word. In order to understand more, we have to de-understand or stop understanding the things that have been fed to us. So how old are you is infinite. How many lifetimes have you had? Thousands. How relevant are they to your current life? Only as relevant as you are able to access them. How do you access them? Only as much as you're able to stop accessing all the programming. And remember, and the more you do that, the more strength you will have within yourself and this is really an activating of the third chakra of I know who I am. You know who you are, and the more you know who you are, the more people will come try to tell you that they know better who you are. But that's the challenge, is to say, okay, I know who I am, and to accept what they would like you to be and recognize that that's what that is. That's what you're standing in your true knowing of yourself and raising that energy up into the heart of acceptance is that it makes other people who aren't ready for that level to be uncomfortable. And that's just them showing you that they don't know who they are. So we as a group, we've made progress since the last time we came together. All of us, this is a collective healing. And I've noticed that this is like the third or fourth healing that we've done as a group. And I feel like you're healing me because that's my intention. I didn't realize that was the intention in starting this. It was just kind of going with the flow, listening to the inner calling to it's time to go ahead and do this. And each group has helped me to level up myself. And hopefully each person in the group also gets this similar experience where by us bringing our consciousness together, we level up individually, because that's how this reality works. We haven't been taught that. It's beyond knowing and thinking and experiencing. It's really when you think of a channel, it's just a vessel that something flows through. And I can feel through our experiences together that it's flowing more smoothly. Whereas before there were some blocks and some rocks that created some rapids, if you want to use the metaphor of water, of fear. And one of my biggest things is I'm afraid I'm afraid to be wrong. I'm afraid that someone will tell me, oh, no, that's not how it is, or you're wrong. And when I go into that feeling personally, this is just my experience, I realize that's not even real. Like, I don't have anything, if I use my mind and my eyes to really counteract that thought, nobody's telling me that. Nobody has told me that in years. Actually, nobody has probably ever told me that. But I developed that belief about myself through my childhood experiences, and it carried into my life. And I created my life from that place of being afraid to express my true nature, to trust my heart, and being afraid of what everybody else is, if somebody is going to tell me that I'm wrong, or somebody's going to tell me that I'm not doing it right. in my life, and it's my life. When I think about it and when I really use my mind to think about it, it's like nobody has a right to take that much power. But I actually gave that power to an invisible thought that never even really existed. It only existed because I believed in it. And it's the same for all of our beliefs. They only exist because we give them our belief. So when it comes to the way things are done on this planet, the way things have to be, that's only true because we believe it, and a lot of people believe it. But it can change if we stop believing it and we start believing in something else. And the more of us that do that, the more the reality shifts. And that's why I say we're on a bridge, because we right here in this place are in between two realities. And there's one that we're very familiar with, that we know it by heart, in and out, what it looks like and what to expect from it. And there's one that we don't know. And that's the thing that we need to have faith in, is there's a new reality that we are creating as we speak. And we don't know what it looks like. But right now it kind of looks funky because it's still got some of the old beliefs in it. And, it's not fully complete, but we're creating it. And more people are joining us in the creation of that new reality where, I mean, what's possible? We could have free energy. It just, the word free, is something we really need to think about when it comes to creating a new society. What is free? What does freedom mean in all sense of the meaning? That means not taking anything from anybody. That even means, that means total acceptance. It's complete heart chakra based reality where everyone is free. And the people who want to do bad things, we don't even have to worry about them anymore because we will be creating our own freedom. What does freedom mean? It's been coming into my experience lately too about self-love. I don't agree with what people do in some places, but they're free to do that. It doesn't affect me unless I try to step in and try to change them. Freedom means everybody is free. And all these ideas that we have, that if we don't prevent people from doing bad things, then badness is going to overrun our realities, is false. Actually, if you stop controlling and you only focus on yourself, and you just this is why people have trouble with spiritual awakening, is because the more aware you become of everything, the more it seems like there's more negativity, but actually it was always there. We just were blind to it, and now that we're expanding our awareness, the negativity is also there, but the only reason why we have feelings about it is because we have something in ourselves that we haven't accepted about ourselves. So if we focus on ourselves and self-love, then we raise ourselves to a place where that negativity can continue to exist, but it doesn't affect us. And that's, to me, that's the definition of freedom, is awareness without judgment and without control. Because that freedom allows you to move freely and not worry about need for protection, or there's no resistance there. There's just total acceptance, first of oneself. So if I see my friend saying these things, I realize I have judgment because my friend is doing what they're doing, and that's where they're at right now. And any feelings it gives me is me showing me that I have a lack of acceptance of something in myself. And usually it's like unworthiness within myself. So if I just turn off the phone or whatever that I'm seeing and I go into myself, put my hand on my heart, then I just give the attention that I was giving them to myself, her or him or them or anything. Anytime anything outside of ourselves causes us to have feelings, we can go to this place, putting our hands on our heart and give that attention to ourselves, because there's a child inside of us that's screaming and saying, hey, I'm not okay with that. And we can reparent ourselves and say, it's okay. These feelings will go away. They won't last forever. You're safe, or whatever it is that our self needs to hear. We give that attention to ourselves anytime we feel triggered or not okay with anything. We just give that, that's an indication that I need to love myself right now.